Hi, I'm Reuben from Next Adventure, and today we're going to talk about all the essentials to climb Mount Hood. At 11,240 feet high, Mount Hood is Oregon's highest peak. In prominent view from Portland, climbing Mount Hood makes for a great climb for beginner alpinists. While physically strenuous, climbing Mount Hood does not take a lot of technical ability, although you do need some basic equipment. When you come to Next Adventure, we'll set you up with one of two pairs of crampons to rent, either the Camp Stalker or the Black Diamond Contact. Both are a basic crampon with a universal binding they can bind to any mountaineering boot. While you're welcome to climb in your own boot and rent crampons from us, we ask that you bring your boot in when being fitted for crampons. The reason being that standard hiking boots are simply not stiff enough to take the stress that you put on a crampon. A standard hiking boot bends easily, while a mountaineering boot has at least a 3/4 shank, making it much stiffer. Some boots, such as the Scarpa Summit, have a full shank and will be nearly impossible to bend. We will rent you one of these two, either a 3/4 shank or a full shank boot, depending on what route you'll be climbing. Because this is a softer 3/4 shank boot, we'll set you up with a Camp Stalker, which has a softer flex bar in the middle and is less likely to break. If you're renting a stiffer 3/4 shank boot or a full shank boot, like the Camp Summit, we're likely to give you the Black Diamond Contact, which has a slightly stiffer bar. If you were to try to front point, meaning dig the front points of the crampon into a face, in either one of these in a standard hiking boot, this center bar would simply break. You'll carry an ice axe, such as the Black Diamond Raven, so that in the event of a fall on steep terrain, you will quickly be able to self-arrest by digging the pick in and stopping yourself. Falls can be dangerous and will want to be stopped quickly. You'll want to carry a backpack, such as the Mountain Hardwear Duratissima 50, that's equipped for alpine climbing. This means that it has some sort of mechanism to secure an ice axe, and preferably some durable material, such as Dyneema, to carry crampons. You want to make sure that you're carrying enough water, as well as several extra insulated layers, as well as waterproof layers in the event of rain. You want to make sure that you carry enough extra food in case you get lost, as well as a compass. You'll absolutely need a helmet, such as the Black Diamond Half Dome, to protect yourself from falling rocks and ice, which begin to fall off the cliffs as Mount Hood heats up in the early morning hours. One important piece of equipment is going to be glacier goggles. Glacier goggles are not normal sunglasses because they block more light. It's important that you also have glacier goggles not only that have dark lenses, but that have shades that cover both the side and bottom of your eyes. Light reflects up off the snow and can cause a condition called snow blindness, where you can go temporarily blind from the harsh light. If you're climbing the standard south side route, which is the most common route that people take up Mount Hood, you want to start by parking at Timberline Lodge and start climbing between midnight and 3 a.m. up towards Silcock's Hut. From there, you'll continue up the Palmer Glacier to the top of the Palmer ski lift at 8,500 feet. From there, you'll head up to Climber's Right, that is the east side of Crater Rock, up into the Devil's Kitchen. Devil's Kitchen is a collection of fumaroles, or holes in the ground releasing sulfur gas. Careful not to stop for too long here because sulfur gas can be toxic and smells quite unpleasant. From there, you'll continue up the Hog's Back, carefully avoiding the Bergschrund, which is a large crevasse roughly 3/4 of the way up the Hog's Back. And from there, you can head west up the Old Chute, or east up the Pearly Gates. The Old Chute is more commonly used and is less exposed, while the Pearly Gates tends to be less crowded and is slightly more exposed. Either one will land you on the summit at approximately 11,239 feet. Once at the summit, enjoy the views and then carefully head back down. Most people descend the Old Chute and then follow the route down that they took up. The whole route can be done in approximately 8 hours, depending on your speed. As you descend the route, be careful to follow the route that you took up once you're past Crater Rock, because the fall line heads too far to the west to the Mississippi Head, a series of large cliffs to the west of Timberline Lodge. Make sure that you're carefully staying en route back towards the Palmer Glacier. Before you climb Mount Hood, make sure you check the conditions for the several days leading up to your climb. Check reputable websites such as mountainforecast.com for weather information. Make sure that the weather for the night you climb is good, as well as the weather for the days after, because one of the most common ways that people run into problems on Mount Hood is when bad weather arrives early. Make sure that you wear enough sunscreen, bring enough food, and are in strong physical condition when you go to climb Mount Hood. While Mount Hood is the second most climbed mountain in the world, it is by no means easy. Every year, experienced climbers die when they run into bad weather or someone gets injured. Make sure that you are in good physical condition and that you are with someone who has experience on Mount Hood before you go up for your first climb. Keep in mind that this is an introduction. This is not everything you need to know. For more information, give us a call or swing by the shop and talk to our staff about rental equipment, the route, or equipment for sale. Thanks for watching, climb safe, and we'll see you at the top.